माननीय डॉक्टर अभिषेक मनु सिंघवी जी 15 मिनट्स।
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, माननीय सांसद, 75वीं वर्षगांठ के उपलक्ष्य में इस वार्ता में मैं एक अत्यंत सरल लेकिन एक अत्यंत विचित्र और कठिन प्रश्न के साथ बात शुरू करना चाहता हूं। और वो प्रश्न ये है कि 1930 से 60 के बीच में जो लगभग 30-40 देश स्वतंत्र हुए साम्राज्यवाद से, उपनिवेशवाद से, यूके से, बेल्जियम से, फ्रांस से, नेदरलैंड से इत्यादि इत्यादि निकले वहाँ की कॉलोनियलिज्म से, सिर्फ एक अकेला कोरा भारत है जो उन 30-40 देशों में से आज एक गौरवशाली गणतंत्र लोकतंत्र है, बरकरार है आज 75 वर्ष बाद। ये एक बहुत ही विचित्र चीज। इसका कारण क्या है? तो कई कारण है। सबसे बड़ा कारण होता है गुड लक। लेकिन अगर और इसमें देखा जाए तो मैं समझता हूं कि एक अद्भुत जुगलबंदी थी। मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं कि एक ही कारण है। एक कारण निश्चित रूप से वो अद्भुत जुगलबंदी का है जो गांधी और नेहरू के बीच में थी, और जो ट्रिनिटी थी हमारी जीएनपी की, गांधी नेहरू पटेल की। कुछ तो ठीक किया होगा उस निंदनीय नेहरू ने, कुछ तो ऐसे संस्थागत और गैर संस्थागत स्तंभ बनाए होंगे हमारे संविधान के, जिससे आज इस 30-40 देशों में, अगर आप एशिया में देखें, अफ्रीका में देखें, साउथ अमेरिका में देखें, तो संविधान के और संविधानवाद के, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म के आपको सिर्फ खंडर दिखेंगे उन सभी देशों में। अगर एक ने वो हमको स्वतंत्रता दिलवाई और दूसरे ने उसको महफूज रखा, सुरक्षित रखा, तो कुछ तो ठीक किया होगा इन दोनों ने मिलके। तो अब देखते हैं कि ये क्या संवैधानिक स्तंभ हैं जो 75 वर्ष से इस देश को गौरवशाली बना के रखा है, विश्व का सबसे बड़ा गणतंत्र। और उसके बाद साथ साथ देखते हैं कि उनकी वर्तमान परिभाषा क्या है, उन स्तंभों की, उन स्तंभों की का वर्तमान स्वास्थ्य कैसा है, स्वरूप क्या है, आकार क्या है। Friends, the first of those pillars, the non-institutional pillars, is secularism, one of the most misunderstood, most abused words, no doubt. Yes. You know, it's a self-protective mechanism, idea. We do no largesse, no mercy to practice secularism. We must do it in supreme selfish national and self-interest. India is planet Earth's most diverse spot. And diversity, when the Americans talk of the salad bowl or others talk of the melting pot, nothing captures India's diversity. We have 22 scheduled languages, 700 mother tongues, 2,000 dialects. We have the world's 4 religions born here, the second or third largest of other religions in the world, and so on and so forth. What is secularism? I love Professor Bhargav's Lincolnian definition of secularism. He said, why did Lincoln say for the people? It's understood democracy is for the people. Why did he say by the people? It's understandable. It is those who elect by the people. Then he said, why did he use of the people? And then Bhargav answers his own question by saying, it is to convey a sense of co-ownership of democracy to the last man in the last row. It is a co-belonging of democracy to everyone, the majority and the minority, the underprivileged and the overprivileged. And that is the essence of secularism. And before I come to its current health, there is another word in our preamble which cross-fertilizes and reinforces in a big way, जिसको हम ज़्यादातर भूल जाते हैं, fraternity, सौहार्द, a word far superior to the negative word of tolerance. It is a positive word which constitutionally mandates us to celebrate each other, identity. It cross-fertilizes and reinforces secularism, and it brings in all the other related concepts of pluralism, inclusiveness and diversity. अब दोस्तों इसकी वर्तमान हालत पे 2-4 मिनट बिताते हैं। इसकी वर्तमान हालत क्या है न्यू इंडिया में, न्यू बीजेपी के शासन में? सबसे पहले है भय का वातावरण, अविश्वास का वातावरण,
Yes.
विभाजन का वातावरण,
True.
इसके लिए कोई थर्मोमीटर नहीं चाहिए। आप भी जानते हैं, हम भी जानते हैं, सेंट्रल हॉल, पुराना सेंट्रल हॉल से लेके अल्पसंख्यकों तक ये भय का वातावरण है। वो सेंट्रल हॉल का आजकल कैंटीन हो गया है सब्स्टिट्यूट, यहाँ पर सेंट्रल हॉल तो नहीं रहा, लेकिन अपने कंधे के पीछे झांक कर बोलना, इसे कहते हैं गणतंत्र के भय को। और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि ऐसा वातावरण 75 साल में कभी नहीं आया, सिवाय उस 18 महीने में आपातकाल में, जिसके ऊपर मैं अभी आने वाला हूं, कभी नहीं हुआ। 2 उदाहरण देना चाहता हूं इसके, फिर आगे बढ़ूंगा मैं। एक उदाहरण तो अभी पिछले हफ्ते का है, दोनों में मैं पेश भी हुआ था। प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट में क्या हुआ और उच्चतम न्यायालय ने क्या कहा ऑर्डर 3-4 दिन पहले, उसकी बात मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं, आप सब जानते हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि जब तक हम इसको निर्णित करते हैं तब तक एक प्रतिबंध रखें, एक शांति बहाल रखें, एक स्टेबिलिटी रखें, स्थिरता रखें। जो महत्वपूर्ण है कि उस हियरिंग में केंद्र सरकार का क्या स्टैंड था। केंद्र सरकार, जो वैसे टेक्निकल रूप से तो एक न्यूट्रल होनी चाहिए थी, उन्होंने कहा कि ये आंतरिक आदेश नहीं दीजिए। कब तक नहीं दीजिए? जब तक आप इसका निर्णय करेंगे तब तक भी नहीं दीजिए। और निर्णय क्या था? निर्णय था बड़ा समझदार निर्णय कि नया कोई सूट दर्ज नहीं होगा और जो पुराने सूट है उसमें कोई भी प्रभावशाली इफेक्टिव ऑर्डर आंतरिक या अंतिम नहीं पास किया जाएगा। इसका विरोध किया है सरकार ने। और आप बात करते हैं सेक्युलरिज्म और फ्रेटर्निटी की, जब तक सिर्फ निर्णय आता है तब तक। इसका दूसरा उदाहरण, क्या केंद्र सरकार ने कभी भी किसी रूप में, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री तो बहुत बड़े हैं, गृह मंत्री भी बहुत बड़े हैं, किसी मंत्री ने भी, केंद्र मंत्री की हिम्मत हुई कि जो ये बुलडोजर राजनीति चली इतने सालों से यहाँ, जिसमें भी एक मामले में जिसमें मैं पेश हुआ था, उच्चतम न्यायालय ने रोक लगाई कुछ हफ्तों पहले, कभी भी उन्होंने, किसी ने बोला उसके विरुद्ध? ये आपके सबसे बड़े प्रदेश से शुरू हुआ था, एक शब्द बोलने की हिम्मत थी किसी को? बल्कि आप लोगों ने, यू ग्लोरिफाइड, योर सीएम्स ग्लोरिफाइड बुलडोजर आज। There was an inter-CM, inter-state competition as to who is the more Rambo CM to practice bulldozer. And an award virtually was to be given for bulldozer CMs and bulldozer politics. But this is fraternity. This is secularism. Look at the statistics. Who were the victims of that bulldozer Raj? 95, 98% one community. No notice. I make a protest, I make a poster, my house is struck down. But not one of you had the guts to speak up against it. Why? Because you cannot be allowed to do that. So friends, this is the hiatus between constitution, between constitutionalism, between secularism, between fraternity, and between the reality. You really wore the democratic cloak, but you wielded the autocracy's blade. As the constitution crumbled, in the shadows you made. Because friends, when rulers play puppeteers with democratic frame, the constitution is but a pawn in that game. Let us turn to some other underlying pillars. Federalism. You know, it's a very strange country where our framers made it largely a unitary country. Somebody called it quasi-federal because of largely unitary focus. But the great achievement of India is what we call inadvertent federalism or accidental federalism. Today, after 75 years, we are much more federal in operational reality than our framers conceived of in design, in constitutional design. And this is not the place to go into it because you've had fiscal federalism. We devolved today 45% odd of the funds to the states. We started with 30%. We have Panchayati Raj. We have municipal decentralization. We have linguistic federalism, the 3-language formula. We have economic liberalization. So that's a different story, but we have operational, real federalism of a far, far higher degree than our framers envisaged or created or designed. And federalism is very important for regional parties. It's a safety valve which channels the 3Ds, discomfort, dissatisfaction, and dissent at the local level. Otherwise, like a pressure cooker, if it did not release it there, it would explode at the center. But, sir, and the Honorable Prime Minister has repeatedly used the, I don't like the word jumla for the Prime Minister, but let's say the phrase, cooperative federalism, competitive federalism. Allow me to make you smell the coffee and smell reality for 2 minutes. 2 examples again on federalism. The theoretical and the real in New India and the new BJP. State in the south, we know the name. A state in the east, we know the name. A state in the north, we know the name. I happen to be coincidentally counsel for all 3 states. 10 bills are passed by the state in the south. The Honorable Governor takes 1.5 years to decide not to decide. Because if he sends it back, as we all know, the state can pass it again. So he decides not to decide. I go to court, the court passes an order. So he then decides 1 and 9 he refers back. The assembly sends it back after 2 days. Again, Kumbhkarn's 6-month sleep. Then again you go to court. This time the Honorable Governor, well advised as he is, refers it to the President. What suffers? Governance for that state. The same thing happened in the eastern state. The same thing happened in the northern state. You're all sitting there, members of those states. Now, what is the point? The point is that Babasaheb Ambedkar said there cannot be 2 swords in 1 scabbard. एक म्यान में 2 तलवार नहीं हो सकती. The elected government is entitled to make its mistakes. It is democratically elected CM who is democratically entitled to make mistakes. If he makes a mistake, the governor is not a super CM to correct him. In fact, Babasaheb Ambedkar, in the next paragraph of that Do Myan Wali paragraph, he says that we are thinking of only nominating governors and nobody might be ready to accept the job because he doesn't have any powers. But today we have super CMs and somebody else, not me, called them Supari agents of the central government. Sir, another example of federalism, competitive federalism, cooperative federalism, is the CBI, this unwanted, uninvited guest who enters all our houses. Both Mr. Sibal and I are doing many cases on that. He enters a state without any consent, no general consent, no special consent, on very puerile and very strange grounds. Any number of cases. This is federalism. This is, sir, federalism in tatters. This is democracy dancing on the edge of ruin when power poisons the pillars of our constitution, of which, remember, federalism was held 30 years ago to be part of the basic structure. 30 years ago. So other pillars include the media and the bureaucracy. Sir, if you give me 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes, I've got 4 minutes I'll need. I'll be very fast.
Honorable Chairman has given 15 minutes on this thing.
Sir, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is supposed to be the steel frame, another pillar of our constitution. Is it a mud frame or a straw frame today? Put your hand on your heart and ask. The test which is paramount is servility and loyalty. HMV is the qualifying condition, not the old records of music we love. HMV means his master's voice. Any independence is met with retribution, fear, transfer, career, promotions, transfers, etc. From a watchdog, you've made it into a lapdog. And this is a decimation of yet another pillar of the Constitution. Media. And here I blame the media much more than the government. The media typifies the Margdarshak Mandal's eminent Greece, Advani ji, who said, when we asked you to bend, you crawled. Godi media to shabd bhi 2014 ke baad hi bana hai. As this remarkable cocktail we see of overambitious anchors and media owners, pre-selected, pre-curated and pre-committed participants, motivated, slanted, distorted themes, we see this toxic triangle every evening. Sir, I call it verbal terrorism and visual extremism. But this is because the media, Godi, has been converted largely into a Godi media. It doesn't help anyone. This is an institution which was called the fourth pillar. It was called the fourth pillar without being. Press freedom is nowhere mentioned in our constitution. But it's given the status of a fourth pillar.
Please.
Sir, मेरा समय कम है इसलिए जवाब नहीं दे रहा हूं मैं आपको. Vendetta politics. India is fortunate, unlike the two ladies who can't sit in Central Hall in Bangladesh. Unlike Zia and Nawaz Sharif, who can't sit in Central Hall in Pakistan, we were fortunate that we did not have vendetta politics. It started in a way in a South Indian state. It then traveled to an East Indian state. It went to the Battle of the Sardars in North Indian state. But largely the central government was free from it. So today you have, as one of your biggest alliance partners, the agencies, the three agencies we know well. And today, not only the laundry factory analogy, but a very good cartoon came when the Pope said, "Son, if you confess, all sins are forgiven." So the Indian man standing there on the side said, "No, sir, all sins are forgiven if you join the ruling party." Yeah. Sir, there are many more examples. My time is limited. I will end by saying कि बार-बार आपने आपातकाल की बात की. आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं, आपातकाल में गलतियां हुई हैं. मान के चलिए. मैं मानता हूं, मैं स्पष्ट कहता हूं, कांग्रेस ने पहले भी कहा है. पहली बात तो एक तर्क और कुतर्क की बात है कि ये क्या बात कि आपके 90% स्पीचेस पहले अमेंडमेंट से 1950 से शुरू होती हैं. हम आज के भारत में जो विकृतियां आई हैं उनकी बात कर रहे हैं. उन विकृतियों में हाफ अ मिनट सर, उन विकृतियों का उत्तर क्या है कि गलती आपने की या नेहरू जी ने की तो हम भी करेंगे, तो ये लॉजिकल नहीं है. लेकिन दूसरी बात, ये आपातकाल एक सीमा से बाध्य था, 18 महीने का था. जनादेश सबसे बड़ा होता है. इंदिरा गांधी के आपातकाल के बाद इंदिरा गांधी को जनादेश ने वापस चुनावित किया. ये आपातकाल एक संवैधानिक विकृति थी जो संविधान अनुमोदित करती है, संविधान अलाउ करती है, संविधान के अनुसार हुआ, गलतियां हुई, अंत हुआ. आज इस अघोषित आपातकाल की क्या सीमा है? क्या संवैधानिक प्रतिबंध है? क्या संवैधानिक कंट्रोल है? जीरो. और इसलिए सर 10 वर्ष से सर, लास्ट पॉइंट, कैन आई टेक अ मिनट, हाफ अ मिनट? Sir, I'm ending as I started, not with mere words, sir, just 30 seconds. 30 seconds, sir. Please. I'm ending with what I started, not with words, with a warning. And sir, with great respect to you and to the House, I say that the Constitution, that sacred scripture of our sovereignty, is under siege. The pillars of democracy tremble as tyranny tiptoes into our temples of power. The sanctity of secularism is being shredded. Federalism is fractured and freedom is fettered. We are witnessing an era where institutions are being incapacitated, dissent demonized, and truth throttled. The custodians of democracy have become its conspirators. The protectors of liberty are now its predators. Sir, we have all to act like citizens, and we have to all speak out and speak the truth. I'm very grateful for the time given to me.
Thank you.